need music more than ever to sell unity, to sell love, to sell togetherness in numbers. And I think this story is just the tip of the iceberg, you know.
One more time I had to come into Carnival. First of all, thank you very much everybody for coming out and seeing this. The support in Jamaica means a lot. This is like my second home, literally. And this is the first place I ever went to school in life. At 3 years old at Mona Basic. First place I ever played mass was in Jamaica. First time I ever experienced Juve was in Jamaica. So my parents went to Mona, and a lot of what I do comes from a lot of memories of music and growing up here. So thank you for that. Rest. What is rest? But I really can't lie. I didn't go to like key or maiden key. I actually stayed home and slept all alone in my hotel room, and I was very grateful for that because I needed to get back my voice for tonight. I had to talk to you guys, so yes, I did get some rest. Okay. Strange, weird, but good.
Yeah. You know? But I love that you mentioned where it kind of all started. Because as we were watching the film, you know when you saw the footage of Machel as a youth, right? And you could see him in little shorts, yellow shorts. That was actually in Jamaica. And as the documentary was going on, he said to me, "That's Jamaica, this is Jamaica." Let's talk about the impact that that would have had on you, even in terms of your musical influence, and you know how that would have shaped even the music that you create today.
Well, I mean, one of the most important things is my parents, you know, they went to Mona, and my father was almost basically a Rasta man. So they don't have a lot of Bob Marley music in the house. But we also had things like Double Dutch Bus, so they don't have some things like Double Dutch Bus coming down the street. You know what I mean? And then it had Blondie, the tide is high. So when they had all these records, because they were coming from this musical revolution vibe, I was surrounded by that music. And you know, when it was time, I was introduced to Calypso involuntarily. You see, I was just saying, all right. I was just trying to be a good child.
Yeah.
But then when I realized Calypso was kind of old people vibes, you know, just old people around, and I'm looking for, I asked my parents, where are my peers? And they would take me to the club where they had a show called Party Time, and all the young people would be there with all the girls. And these fellas would be lip syncing, bell, they were like, dang, king, king. And the girls would be screaming for them. And I'll be like, damn, I couldn't sing calypso. And you know, the big buju banton, lip syncing and everybody. And I was like, yo, I need to figure out how to be more youthful.
The first time I met Machel, I was a photographer and I was running like a community arts organization in Toronto, which was actually co-founded in Jamaica. The first headliner was Protege and Chronicles and John Nine and Kabaka Pyramid and all of these artists. I was doing that at the same time as meeting Machel. But when I went down to Trinidad and I saw Machel Monday for the first time, and I watched this, I didn't even know who Machel was. I landed with Director X and a few other people in Trinidad. I had no idea what I was coming to, and I went and I saw Machel Monday and watched him perform for 4.5 hours, non-stop, bringing on a stadium stage, Moko Jumbies and hundreds of dancers and Major Lazer and Boyz II Men, and the way he conducted an audience, he was more than an artist, he was like an alchemist. And I was like, oh, this is someone that I need to be in service to because he has a mission that I want to be a part of. And then our missions became one mission.
Come on, doctor. This is the doctor, you know. He's a doctor, and I don't understand. I just want to say he comes from a musical family with his brothers and everything.
All right, what's your name, sir?
My name is Homer Morgan.
Hey, why-yo, why-yo. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hey, here we go, take it up. You see me as a man, love to play and love to chat. You see me as a man, I always happy once money in the hand. But I don't have no time for no worries. Don't have no time for no stressing. Love on the mind. So I'm ready to go on the road. Cause I live my life, live my life, yes, I live my life. Like the happiest man alive, the sign you live me life. Jump on, live me life. Play house and live me life. Happiest man alive, somebody say, oh.
We are used to seeing you at all the fits, so we know that you're a real Soca fan. How are you feeling about the premiere here tonight?
Okay, first of all, I will tell you, I wore my Bazadi shirt that I got from Trinidad. This is a Machel Montano shirt. The fact that this was happening here while I'm here, this is a part of history, and I'm excited to one, be invited, and two, to see a documentary of this scale, because it's an O and odd, so that's difficult to do, that people can get to experience the work that has gone into the love of soca. Okay, you know me love soca. So the fact that people can see the love that went into soca with Machel Montano in this format, beautiful.
What was your favorite part of the documentary?
The too young to soca part. To see that he started from what 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, it never occurred to me that that was an option. Because I'm thinking that's a life path. That's how people get involved in it. So let's say you come from a not so, you know, nepotism type, upbringing. Soca can be your way out from the get-go. So a family can invest in their child or invest in their family, like what the Montanas did, and hey, let's come up as a family through soca music, which is our culture, and I love that.
All right, and you got to see an impromptu performance with a friend of yours. How are you feeling about that?
I'm so proud because I've seen Homer do so many things online to get his music out and show his love of soca. So for Machel Montana to not only say he followed you, he pointed you out in a crowd, say that you were the cause of some of his vibes. I am proud to know that man as my brethren. Yeah.
So tell me, will you be recommending this film to others?
100%. Purely from the perspective of I was in Trinidad when the Bazadi movie dropped, and I got to watch that in theaters, and I felt the spirit of soca watching that, and I felt a similar spirit watching this one. And anybody who loves soca or is at least interested in the Caribbean culture definitely has to watch this movie.
You were here for the Like a Boss premiere, Marshall's movie. How are you feeling after watching it?
Yeah, just super proud. I mean, it's 40 years. It's not an easy beat, So just feeling super proud. I know how much has gone into it behind the scenes, and they've been very transparent about the journey, and I think that that's very important as an artist, especially with such a big platform. So yeah, excited for their journey.
As a filmmaker, what do you think? Did you think the film was technically good? Outside of just the culture that it truly resonates with, how does it stand up technically?
You're talking about 40 years. So can you imagine how many hours of footage they had to go through to decide what pieces were actually going to make it and to continue to stitch the story together across so many years? It's a masterpiece. As a documentary filmmaker, you know what it actually takes to be able to tell a story. It's not just what is shot, it's what you have to edit afterwards, so yeah, props to them. I mean, and also being a producer too. He's not just being the face of the documentary, he's also producing it and actively shaping the story. And so Yeah, man. I love it. We're evolving. Yeah.
So would you recommend this movie to other people?
Definitely, this is an archive. You 100% need to see this film. You haven't seen Machel like this before. You think you know Machel Montano, but I don't think you really do. Like a boss, it takes a lot to be a boss, you know. So go out and see the film when it starts, when it hits streaming all over the place.
But what do you want us to really pay attention to when we're seeing it for the first time?
Well, I mean, the storyline, the intensity of how hard it is we have been working, what we've been working at. But I think underlying there is a spiritual aspect to everything that we have been doing, and I feel that that's what I want people to feel. I want them to experience it. I know it will happen because they will see that soca music is not just jump and wave and whine. There's a movement of energy coming from within and going into people and coming back into you, the artist, and that has always been my way of operating. So I kind of like reflect the energy of a people, and most importantly, to look at the collaboration I've been forging for so many years with so many different artists from across the globe. It's important that we do that, because we need music more than ever to sell unity, to sell love, to sell togetherness in numbers. And I think this story is just the tip of the iceberg.
And I know that you mentioned that Jamaica has a very special place in your heart. What is it like for you to see your Jamaican audience come out and really um, support you in this way? Not only just supporting your album, but supporting your premiere and your documentary.
It's most exciting, it's humbling because I feel like they understand and give me the respect that I have given my music and my career. But most importantly, this island, I always keep telling that story that I went to school here for the first time. I was just looking back on it. I played Mass here for the first time. I experienced Juve here for the first time. That might sound weird, but I've been so busy coming up that I didn't have time to enjoy those things until I got here. And I share the long history of coming to Jamaica Carnival with Byron Lee as a child. But I also, came here with so many other different people, and it always is like coming home, but trying to share soca music to more and more people. And I have seen it open up from being just a small clique to being so many people. I Love Soca on Thursday was crazy. So I just feel satisfied and humbled and highly appreciative, grateful that the Jamaican people will come out. And, I know Jamaica know good taste. We know good taste wherever we go around the world, So I respect that and I'm grateful for that.